Welcome back to Feed the Streets podcast. We are back with episode 7. And this episode is going to be business owners discussing from where they started, where they are now, and what it takes to get here. To my left,
I am Tangela, the owner of Corrective Skincare.
Has cuts.
Biggs. That's it. I run a company called Ari Patel. It's a private firm. If you need my help, then you know what I do. If you don't, it's not for you.
All right, man. We're going to start it off nice and simple. What did the early days of your business look like?
So the early days of my business was a lot of faking it till I make it. A lot of fake videos, a lot of fake orders that I was packing, a lot of imaginary clients that I told people that I had that actually probably weren't even real people. But it was just a lot of faking until things, started to be real. So, yeah.
So I started cutting hair up in the dorm room. So it wasn't even for money. I just started cutting. It was for fun. Everything was free. So for me, it was just like, I'm up there, I'm cutting hair. First of all, it's a lot of denial. Nobody trusted me. Nobody wanted to get their hair cut. Shout out to my definitely. And also shout out to Nunu.
Hair is very. I'm not gonna play with you about my hair.
Yeah, no, I get it. I respect it though. I respect it. Nunu been there, right?
Yeah. I know some people been with their barber longer than they've been with their wife.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had like a few people trust me, so that was really it. And then it's just crazy how one day at a time, and you just keep going, and then. It's like, dang, it's too much now. But yeah, that was really the start.
Look at me now.
How about you?
Say the question one more time for me. I'm sorry.
What did your early days of your business look like?
You know what was the funniest thing about early on is when people the craziest thing was like understanding that like you shouldn't so in your business, right, you probably needed to get the people that was close to you because that's how you okay, they see it, whatever. When you start to elevate for what you went to school for or what you self-taught, that's still school, right? It's just not the traditional way. It's hard for people to separate what they call you, what they know you as, from the person you do business, right? So either they're doubting what you do, so it's like, oh, give me the hookup, or they like, you do what? You know what I'm saying? So that piece, it took me a thing. It didn't take me long, but I learned like my closest people is not my target audience. You understand what I'm saying? Like you want them to naturally. That's what you think in your circle to be like. Oh, these are the people I'm going to. You know what I mean? Promote my business to. These are the people. Those people are not to support. Like, not even and take the bad out of it, right? It's like because if you get caught up in that. It's like, oh, why they not supporting them? Why they not? That's not even your customers, for real. Like, they gonna naturally jump on, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. They're gonna naturally jump on once things get going. Some people really, they cannot support something they can't see or feel. But when you start getting in clients and people like, you know what I'm saying? And they see that, then they like, oh, you really would. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel
think
like
you
it's
are.
Almost that expectancy because it's like, this is my family, my friends, whoever. So I expect you to want to, be a part of what I got going on. But I've learned the hard way. The people is actually the furthest people that you need to kind of get to see your business. The people that you don't know are the strangers are going to be the people that get your business further than you think it's going to be. That's true. Yeah.
For sure. And once you start doing business with family, like I know it's a popular line, like, oh, you can't do business with family. I think I said this to you before. You can do business with family. People do family with family, not business. Yeah. So once you start separating that, some people, they'll be hard to budge. Like, yo, don't book me through the barbecue. Like, book through the the link. They're like, what you mean? Who you think you is? Who you think you is? What you mean? Click a link. Well, I forget your appointment, and that's on you.
Yeah.
Was it,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
was it hard making that transition?
I could say yes and no, right? For some people who grew up super close to me, super close to me that call you by the childhood nicknames, like not the one, because like the nickname, my nickname now, like it was given to me at 3. So, but like for people who know you as like boom, 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 like really, when they knew you when you was like 3, 4, them kind of people like what? But because you know my attitude and demeanor outside, it also kind of wasn't, because you know I don't play with people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my thing is very like, you gonna get with this or you gonna get left. So once you start setting that, like, don't make any exceptions. So anything you have questions about or whatever, just don't let that be what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? And keep those things very separate. We gonna do business, and even if you doing something with like your closest person, it's like when we hang out, we hang out. When it's time for us to have a business meeting, you gonna tell the tone and like it's different.
Boundaries in a business is so important.
And make sure. I think that's one of the craziest things, because you got on and for you too, you know who you are with the family members, so you want to be like, oh, da 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 da. But that's like if you book me and I don't show up for 4 appointments, but then you come to the kickback and you be like, burger good, but let me talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I had
miss another appointment, Epiphany. You won't get back on my schedule.
One of my aunts. I'm not gonna say who because we know who. One of my aunts. She saw me at the temple and she's like, I need this cleanser, that cleanser. I'm like, okay, go on the website. She sees me I'm not even lying to y'all, 3 months, not 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months later, and goes, I never got my order. I said, I never got your money. I never got your order. So she's like, I see you all the time. No, business is business. For inventory purposes, I need you to go to this website, place that order. Then you'll get your package shipped like everybody else. You're not that special just because we got the same last name.
I'll tell you something super cool. And it's just me, right? So my favorite word is invoice. So I have a thing. This is probably like a little, like an insider, and this is what I tell my clients. I don't ever talk about money. I dance around it. You call it, like, they know Master Splinter from the Ninja Turtles. I'm Master Splinter. So when a person say to me, hey, I contacted you, right? So I read contracts. I read contracts, keep people out of contracts, keep people in contracts. So people be like, I sent you my contract. I'm like, oh, wow. Let me see. So, well, ooh. Oh, the invoice. Did you see the invoice? I don't mention much. For me, it's off camera. I can tell you exactly why. Don't mention money. Don't mention the word money. Don't mention anything adjacent to money. Just be like, invoice. Did you? Like, oh, I sent the thing. The invoice.
I feel like that just invoice right there, like just hearing you say that as a customer, that makes me feel like, okay, I know that you're not gonna play with me. And anything that you say to me after this invoice, then we can do business. Anything before that is just conversation. And realistically, as a business owner, I'm tired of having these, I was going to buy, I was going to support. Until we paid up, we don't even gotta.
Oh no! When you bring the clown to me, I'm gonna act like a circus. So I'm gonna be just as surprised as you. I know, mind you. So even that illusion, like when you said faking it till you make it, right? So some things I truly believe in that, right? So when someone plays like, oh, even I don't care if someone tell me 10 times like, oh, I want to get with you, I want to link, we got to do business. I'm gonna say, hell yeah, absolutely. Knowing damn well I'm not gonna see you again until like the next family reunion, and that's okay, because sometimes, first of all, life be life.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna take. I have 2 things. I don't take anything personal, and number 2, I treat customers. My favorite thing to say to my clients is assume they're 3 years old, not as a disrespect thing, but when you're dealing with them. So with certain fields, you have to talk to them like they 3, right? So you gotta kind of like baby step them into questions or like what they need. And sometimes you even gotta throw the alley-oop, like, okay, this is what you need. As far as that thing with the invoice though, so if someone like, hey, people send me contracts, they send the contract in the email. So I'll send them an invoice. I talk to them. You pay my consultation fee. I do not talk to anybody without a consultation at all.
I know that's right.
Once you book with me, your consultation is waived. It's included in the service, right?
Okay.
Cool beans. If you show up late, I'm billing you. Because what are you doing?
Playing with your time.
For sure. So, and it's just respecting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, or even outside of, you gotta respect like everything outside of the business too. Like I got family, it's different things. Like, so my stuff has to move accordingly, right? Cool. So then for me, once I send the invoice, a person to send a contract, right? And then be like, oh, could you just take a look at it right quick? I got 2 phones now, and I'm trying to keep up with him calling me.
Yeah. I
So if you think you send me a contract and he calls me, what you think I'm gonna pick up first? I'm gonna pick up his call because you sent me a contract. Could you take a look at this right quick? And so I could look at it for sure, but I know what you asked me. You're asking me to read it. Why do you think I'm about to? If that's what I do for a living, why do you think I'm even about to read? If I read everything that came across my desk, I wouldn't have time for anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and I don't. It's like I told you. I'm gonna tell you off camera, but like the things for, hey, they be like, did you see that? Could you take a look at that joint for me right quick? You know what? Yeah, just as soon as you address that invoice, I got you, baby. No problems.
See, I feel like it's a little different because I'm service based, but I'm really product based, where I don't have to deal with people directly, like, face to face, hand to hand contact. I feel like with y'all it's a little different because you have to see them, you have to talk to them. So I feel like the standards are a little bbit different, and I feel like it's a little bit more pressure and anxiety when you have face to face contact with these people, because you could just order online through my business, and if you don't like it, you send it back, or you email me. But y'all have to be right here, center and direct, and I feel like it's a whole different ball game. Something that I probably couldn't do. I knew I couldn't do it. I actually went to school to be an esthetician. I realized very quickly I'm not trying to wax no coochies. I shifted very fast. So that's how I got to the skincare, and that's how I know that the hand to hand is not for me. It's not for me. Because if I have got to tell you every day invoice, I'm gonna just stop.
No. See, here's the thing. No, so one thing I'm a firm believer in my personal life. Here's a funny thing, and in business too. I don't repeat myself. If you are not under 13, I do not repeat myself.
Okay.
At all. I will stare at you and blink until you get out my face. So because sometimes too, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing between entertaining like conversation or whatever, because anybody could end up being a potential client. I had people who's like, yo, I've been saying I was going to get at you. I finally have the means, the opportunity, and the time. So I don't even take it personally when I see someone and they're like, yo, I really want to get down with your services and whatever else. So I'm like, that's to never take anything personal, right? Because also too, when people like, hey, are you free? I'm never free. I am expensive and available, but I'm never free. So I respect that you probably can't get with me at the moment.
Right.
But you're going to find a time where your business is growing and you probably could use my services or whatever the case may be. But as far as repeating yourself, don't. So when someone's like, the constant telling someone over and over again. So if he say, hey, could you take a look at the thing? I'm trying to sign a deal with the new shop. Woo-woo. I'm going to say, yeah, not a problem, for sure. Respond to the invoice. And as a courtesy, I'm going to have my assistant, my secretary, resend the invoice. Gentle reminders, what I like to call those. I'll give you one of them, not repeating myself. I'll give you a gentle reminder, slide this back here. Mind you, I'm including it on the previous one, so we have a thread.
Yeah,
Here's the first one.
Now. Yep.
Here's the second one. So, because even for me, and again, it's not personal. It's just like, so the person could say, you're right. This was sent to me. Boom, boom, boom. So it kind of gives them, people who are serious, like, life, I missed it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it gives them the thing like, hey, here's a gentle reminder, respond to that. And then if he says it to me again, yo, I'm going to gently say to him, so you want me on retainer? Because now you're in front of my face asking me business questions. People who get to talk to me anytime they want to, they have me on retainer. So do you want me on retainer? Is this a social call or is this a business call? Because if it's social, why are we talking shop? If it's business and you asking me a question and you still didn't respond to the invoice, that means you want me on retainer. Wow. Respond to the invoice, big baby.
other words, stop playing.
Yeah, we can do whatever you want after that.
Respond to the invoice. And that's why even some of my services, right, with the branding, I'm not going to act like some people try to be like, get tough, be serious. If that's not who you are, I don't even advocate for that, right? Be your natural self. For some of my clients, I'm a closer. For some of my clients, I do payroll. You know what I'm saying? For some of my clients, I handle their family members who work for them. They handle the ones who don't because they are non-confrontational. You know what I'm saying? So anything, I handle some people's, what do they call it? Escalations. When you like, oh, I sent out a package. They gave you the wrong address. But you like, you know what, I'm going to take care of it. But now they end your email like, this is what I'm talking about.
Right.
This is why I work with black businesses. But meanwhile, it's like, you clearly gave me the wrong address.
Yeah, you're the problem.
So, and when a person is getting whatever, I know a person like, I'm not the customer. No, that's when you call Bix, because I'm on your team.
Right.
You have me on retainer for your business. Hey, now I get on the phone. Hi, how you doing? This is Boom Boom Boom. I'm calling because I represent Boom Boom Boom.
Okay.
I'm here to help you with your issue. Won't you help me help you? Yeah, because you know what? This is what I do with black businesses. Woo, woo. Could you tell me your name? What's your address?
I feel like that took
And as
you a
soon
lot
as you
of
tell
growth.
me your address,
A lot of you must have
as
been.
soon
a
as
lot
you
of
tell me your
situations.
address and I identify that, that's where the disconnect is. So I already know why I'm calling you.
Right.
But see, when people are upset, that's another thing. Don't argue with them. Ask questions. Because when you ask people questions, they get to hear how they sound.
Yeah. See, I like that logic. I think maybe I'm still a little new with the business, and that's why I say it's one of those things where I know
You learn and grow.
Yeah, because we ain't gonna be too much talking. But as a business owner, I feel like some people need to understand either you are meant to be the owner or the employee. And I feel like situations like that definitely show the difference of, can I handle being a business owner and keeping my composure when I'm dealing with these kind of clients, or am I going to understand that I probably should be a customer because I can't control myself when these people talk to me? But I personally, I'm still working on the controlling myself when it comes to certain customers, because you'll have a customer that will literally send me your wrong address, wrong state. I'll send a package out and it'll say delivered. So someone else has now gotten your products and you're upset with me as if I'm the problem.
And that, like, you know me personally, but see, here's where my firm comes in handy, right? America lied to us. You will knock yourself for being a business owner because you can't handle people and be like, well, I can't be a business owner. Like that whole perception of, even when people like, oh, you have it all. That's untrue too, right? So you don't have to be a people person to have a business. Like when they're telling you, oh, you're supposed to be all encompassing in handling these things, that's a lie.
I agree.
And that's where my niche is, like filling a void. Reading contracts, handling people, all that, that gives me goosebumps because I fix problems.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So no matter how small, no matter how big, I fix problems. And for me, it's a breeze.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So what I offer for clients is, you get to be an artist. I handle your logistics. You cannot say to yourself, oh, I am not a legit and successful business owner because I don't want to deal with people. Mm-hmm. The smartest and wealthiest of people, wealthy, not rich, anything you don't like to do, you outsource.
Yeah.
Anything.
I actually had a mentor tell me that when I first started my business, she said to me, wherever you see a problem in your business, fix it immediately.
And that don't mean you have to.
Right.
If you
delegate,
delegate,
hire, whatever, you fix it. However you fix it, that's what you got to do. I wasn't good with photography. I had to book a photographer. There was a problem, fix it.
but that makes sense because check this out. What I could, in my business, like when you first starting up, you doing everything, right? So you taking your pictures how you want to, and you're supposed to, because I like doers, right?
Yes.
Just do it, because you're gonna learn as you grow. But then when you start to elevate, you're like, whoa, you know what? I need to be in the studio. I need to be in whatever. So I don't have the hours to put in to learn that when I can hire someone where that's their profession.
Right.
And it took me an hour. I pay someone because they know how to do this in an hour. But it leads to procrastination. Anytime you procrastinate, that should give you a signal like, oh, don't beat yourself up like, oh, I'm procrastinating. That's not your job.
Yeah.
Is all that is. So when you have to do something else, be like, oh, you know what? Outsource. For my clients, I tell them all the time, write down everything you don't like to do. Even in your personal life. Write down everything you don't like to do. Write down a list of things that, it could be crazy. You could be like, you know what? After a long, crazy week, I love doing my own laundry because it resets me. I'm in there reading a book. On another thing, you could say, I don't like to meal prep my kids' food. That should be your job then.
Yeah.
So for me, even with my clients, they were like, I never had someone who got into my personal life to run my business. If you stressed out at home, how am I gonna grow your business?
Right.
So if you don't like to meal prep your kids' food, and you don't have time to drive them to practice, but you want to make every game, now you need a nanny. I could hire that for you too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's about tweaking the little things. If you don't want to do your laundry, why are you doing laundry? Laundry take anywhere from 3 to 5 hours unless you have like a crazy unique system. So I am chopping down so you get to do what you love. That also helps you build your business. You get to be the artist. I handle the logistics.
I like that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie,
I like
that's
that
tough,
breakdown. That was
You
nice.
should be able to create your art. You can't create your art. People don't want to do those things.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Some people are great logistically, but then don't want to be in front of they don't want to be the face of anything.
Yeah.
So any way it maneuvers, you just got to figure out what you don't want to do, and do not allow someone to tell you, oh, because I have a client who is ready to hire an au pair. Basically like it's a nanny, but they live there to help them with their kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's people back in the day talking about back in my day, we raised our kids.
No,
I was just telling him back in your day,
I didn't
it was a
ask you.
commercial that came on TV that asked you, do you know where your kids are? Y'all was snorting cocaine
For fun. On
and
a
drinking
regular
Colt
Tuesday.
45. Don't tell me what you was doing back in your day.
It's also not back in your day no more either.
Not.
So
I hate that.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, I'm not even knocking how you got it down. Like kids is demons between certain age points. You know what I'm saying? But don't tell me, first of all, and I don't know why, especially when it come to like patriarchy, like with women, it's a thing, and then with people of color, love and success always ends up on the opposite side of going through, oh, you should have had to went through this and then you get success, or you had to go through this and then you get love.
Glamorizing struggle.
My kid's not gonna say my mom was the strongest anything. I don't even believe in working hard. I believe in working smart. Now, will I work hard? Will I put in some work? For sure. But 90% of the time I should be working smart.
Yeah.
work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. When people say, like, when I'm a mom of 3 boys, I never wanted my children to say, that was the strongest woman I know. She was so. I know I failed.
Yeah, no.
I know I failed.
And do you know you could have a nanny for the hours you're in your house? People don't even think of that concept.
I always say when I get rich, the first thing I'm getting is a nanny.
So a person would say, why do you have that in your house? That's a waste of money. Sometimes, though, the constant nagging, this is why I stop people from asking me questions unless they're paying to ask me whatever they want to. You ever had like the interaction with people and then you get home, you be like, yo, I'm drained, please don't talk to me.
Yes.
Oh, what?
Yes.
And that's a
Mentally
natural
so.
thing because, especially like people are dumping on you all day. So
Oh
you
my
are
God, all day.
you a barbologist, you are like a barber and a psychologist because people coming there.
Barbologist. I like barbologist.
Like, people coming in there like, yo, you know what's crazy? My baby mom kicked in the windshield.
That be the main, yo, that be the main job.
And it's like by the time you get, and it's crazy because then as you being who you are, when you're an entrepreneur, you don't want to go home and dump on your person like everything that got dumped on you. So typically, I know when somebody asks me how was my day, I'd be like, it was good.
That's it. It was.
And they be like, was it the joint up at your job with the machete? I'd be like, oh yeah, that did happen. Nobody got stabbed though. But I'm gonna just say to you, yeah, it was good. Like, so when all that stuff is getting dumped on you, so you'll have someone who's just intercepting, so while you are reading books with your kids, she's cooking dinner.
Yeah.
Okay.
While you have them in the bath, she started laundry.
Mm-hmm.
She's also like, hey, you know what? Dinner is made. I put some stuff aside for them tomorrow to have for lunch. Laundry is done. I'm about to clean up. All those tiny things is exhausting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people try to make you seem crazy. Oh, we didn't have nannies back in my. You wasn't even allowed to vote. Relax. Okay.
No. Yo.
And sometimes when people glamorize, like, oh, the woman stayed at home or the person did this and they did that. Yeah, but that wasn't what you made it seem like. Don't give me some things was perfect, but something I don't
You
like when
hated
people.
home. That's the like you hated that.
Lil
So
Durk,
why do you
like,
want me to? Yeah, like you hated doing that too. Why you want
No,
me to do
right.
it?
So why it should be easy. You know what I'm saying? Business is when it's never going to be it's going to be challenging. Yes. Some days you're going to be like, yo, am I doing the right thing? Because I'm putting my resources in here. You know, the first 3 years you're a business owner, I tell people, like, you're lucky if you break even. Mm-hmm. So some people think they're supposed to come out the gate running, making money. That's not realistically how that goes. So the first 3 years, you're like, you lucky if you break even. So it's like, it's too much stuff that's going on. You your own worst critic, telling yourself like, I should just get it out of 5. I should do this. I should do that. And especially when you got kids, someone telling you like, yeah, you know what? You wasn't here, which is crazy, or you wasn't there. But it's like, think to yourself, if you wasn't an entrepreneur, you wouldn't have been able to make it to where your kids is anyway. So when somebody is telling you working too much, I even got male clients where it's in reverse, that they going to do stuff with their kid's mom. Like, oh, you not here at this. You never show up to no practices. I don't miss no games though. And with all due respect, he wouldn't even be on this league if I wasn't paying for it.
Yeah,
and if I worked a 9 to 5, you think when I asked my boss, could I get off there here?
Yeah, it's definitely that.
So they try to make you feel
guilty.
guilty. Y'all got like getting over that work guilt when you have family and what you're supposed to do. It's never, people like, oh, how do you balance everything? You don't. On Wednesday, you was the perfect mom. On Thursday, you was the perfect boss. And then in the week, you have it all together.
It said, what did it say? It said, where you see me failing somewhere, where you see me successful somewhere, I'm failing miserably somewhere else. So if you see me having a great month with my business, I probably missed out on a couple things with my children. If you see me at every event with my kids, I probably had to put the business on the back burner for a couple days. So I feel like that statement is true especially when it comes to a business. If I'm successful in this business, it's some other things that I probably had to sacrifice not having or not doing for this business. But at the end of the day, the luxuries that you have because of this business, I feel like it balances out.
And that's the balance. All in it. I think people had this thing like all day, every day, you're going to be hitting every mark. That's impossible. That's impossible.
Seeing as how it was so difficult when starting out your businesses, what would you tell yourself back then, knowing what you know now? What would you tell yourself starting off?
I would tell myself to enjoy where I'm at. I say that because when I first started my business, my mindset was, I am going to start this business. People are going to love these products. It's going to sell out. I'm going to be in all these stores in the first year of my business. I'm just going to be this amazing success story. Of course, obviously that's not how it went. Everything went wrong. I spent more money than I need to. I did things that I probably shouldn't have done. I tried to cut corners. So I feel like maybe just telling myself to accept the process, love the process. Because when you first start, that's where you learn. You make your mistakes. You could, mess up here, and people not really watching you. You're not on a really larger scale for people to judge you. So when you take that time and you are first starting to grow your business, pay attention to every step that you take, especially the mistakes, because when you get bigger and your business grows, all the mistakes that you make and the things that you're trying to learn, it ain't happening. You won't have to either get it or go. So yeah, I think that's definitely one of my biggest lessons that I learned within my business, and what I would tell myself to just slow down, smell the flowers.
You kind of hit like a lot of the points, but definitely for real, like, I'm really big on like one day at a time, one step at a time. You're going to make mistakes, but it's one thing to make. I feel like it's three types of people in the world. It's somebody that makes a mistake and then like they don't even know about it. The second person, they make the mistake. They know they made this mistake. They don't do anything about it. But that third person, they make the mistake. They know they made the mistake and they actually take action. I would tell my younger self, like, be that third person, like actually analyze, see where you went wrong. For me, I'm recording a lot of my haircuts so I can see where I went wrong, or maybe this line wasn't the best, or sometimes it's deeper than the haircut. Like, dang, maybe I shouldn't have opened up as much as I did to this stranger. Like, let me actually build a connection with that person. But really just learning along the way, like take your time. Every mistake is a part of your journey. Like that used to be my thing. I'm making a mistake and then I go on social media and everybody else haircuts or everybody else's business looks so perfect. And I'm like, dang, like, am I not good enough, or should I stop? Or what did you say earlier? Like, dang, maybe I should just go work the 9 to 5. But sometimes you got to slow down, like look at it like, okay, I made the mistake, but this is a part of my journey. Sometimes I'm a firm believer on, sometimes you don't make the mistake for yourself, but sometimes you make the mistake for the next person that you're going to help out, or the next person that you're going to pass everything that you learned, and then you're going to pass it on to them. So like, it's like thankful, like, dang, I don't know if we get spiritual, but thank you, Most High. I appreciate you for that mistake. Now, let me, I'm going to lock that in and pass it on to the next person.
So, mistakes are so important to me, like so so important to me in a business. If I didn't make the mistakes I made the first couple years, I know for a fact I wouldn't be anywhere close to even where I am with my business. Even just I feel like giving yourself grace too is so important when you have a business in your first few years. If you work so hard on yourself and making yourself believe that just this isn't good enough, it has to be perfect. I'm watching these big brands do this and do that, and I'm not where I want to be. I feel like that will be also one of your biggest setbacks. I was that way when my business, when I first started. I felt like I didn't put anything out because I felt like it wasn't good enough. I didn't have the money to put these luxurious ads out. So I just didn't do anything. I sat on this idea of a skincare brand for years and years and years. It wasn't until I stepped out on faith on the other side where I was like, everything I want is on the other side of me being scared. The world's not going to know I have these amazing products because they're literally sitting in my room where it's just me. So you have to you have to be scared. You have to be afraid. You have to be excited to be scared, because if not, you're not going to get to the other side of that business. You're not even going to be able to say, wow, I'm literally living in answered prayers, because all you're doing is just sitting there being scared. So those are definitely the two things that I would say. I know I just piggybacked again off of what you said.
No, I was actually about to ask you something do you think it's from I guess caring about what other people would think about the product, or it was more internal?
I think it was a little bit of both, honestly. You always going to be scared when you're putting out something new. You're always going to have that doubt. You are never going to think what you're doing is good enough. It doesn't matter if it's the same product that you put out a million times. I'm never going to think that what I have is perfect, because you are always going to be your biggest critic. Yeah. Let me not say that. Not perfect. I think some of the things I do is actually top tier, but I think you always going to have that self-doubt somewhere. But I think it definitely came from both. It was I was nervous at what the world would say, but I was also nervous to fail. I think I was more scared to fail on an internal level than I was for anything. But my mindset eventually was just if you failing by not doing it anyway. Yeah. So you might as well learn failing than just to sit around and have this idea. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do the thing, God gonna give it to somebody else and they're gonna be a billionaire. You're gonna be sitting there upset that you didn't do that thing. Mm-hmm. So
they say you miss 100% of the shot that you. What's the saying?
100% of the shots that you don't take.
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's true.
No, that's very true.
That's true.
And I think that was one of the things with my business where it's I could sit here and wonder what if I put this product out, what would it do? Right. Or you can go find out. So yeah.
And I also ask you that too, because I know for me, I'd be did the haircut, took the video. I'm not posting this one. They not gonna like it. But little do I know, people don't even see the mistakes that you see. And most people, at least those that generally want to support, they're not gonna care about the little things here and there. People really love you, or people really love for your product, or sir. But I noticed that dang, I'm beating myself up about nothing, and people will love it.
Yes.
People will love it. So that's my thing.
Yeah. I would tell my younger self, don't allow the analytics to stop you from doing, right? So that's even a way I'm able to help my clients now. So with some things, don't be too involved with the planning or how you want something to turn out. Stop you from just doing it, right? So I tell people now, just do it scared, do it tired, do it sick, do it, right? So because then, for me, mistakes is perfect. It's once and twice mistakes. 3 times is a pattern. Patterns turn into habit. Now, when you in a habit, that determines your mental status. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you need a Yala. She could fix your life. If that leads to a negative, you know what I'm saying, return. If you have a habit where, this is producing a good outcome, then it's a healthy situation. You know what I'm saying? So for anyone, it's just do that thing. Obviously, some things you do want to tweak, right? If you know something's wrong, you putting the product out, that's crazy. But if a lot of people have dreams deferred because all they are is dreams. A dream is a dream. You have to get up and go chase it. Like I say to people all the time, people are yeah, I prayed on it. I pray, but after I pray, I get up and get active towards what I prayed for. You know what I'm saying? So probably my younger self, it would definitely be because for certain projects I have going on, I am a perfectionist. And meanwhile, I do believe perfection is a moving target. Aim for it. But while you aiming for it, still do. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know some mistakes until you make them.
Right.
You can't plan for every mishap, every turn, every whatever. That's like saying I'm not going to drive because I'm scared I'm going to get in an accident. You don't become great at driving and knowing how to avoid accidents until you on the road learning little things. Then you be like, oh, that car is being crazy over there. That's weird. I can know I need it. Like all those things come with experience. So, but my biggest thing probably would be early on. I get that concept now is accept the help. I definitely, yes. Because like sometimes with my hands in something, I never wanted, what Jay said, like niggas walking around like they gave me Aubrey Patel startup money or something. Like I never wanted somebody being like, oh, I helped you build whoop whoop wop. But I'm like, with that, it's also just different areas of when someone is offering genuine help, accept it. You know what I'm saying? You probably ain't got to go around asking for help, but it's going to be some people right there in front of you like, what you need help with? I got you. Mm-hmm. Because what I learned too, successful people, truly successful people, will offer you anything because they want to see you. You know what I'm saying? You could tell when someone's like probably not what they claiming to be. True. I never met someone, and mind you, success come in waves, but they could be more successful than you. Like success don't have to mean like this person has millions, but if they're successful in their line and in their work, I never met a person who was doing pretty great at what they do and then didn't say like, that's what you need help with? I gotta show you that in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Come past. I got that. No lie. No lie's never been a time I didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why I like talk about your brand more. I probably would say that too, because I'm very private. Yeah. So those probably 3 things is like accept the help with someone. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't probably go out to someone like, hey, can you help me with this? You know what I'm saying?
But when it's presented.
If it's presented, you know what I'm saying? It was just something that happened here, like I think a month ago. Because I mentioned something about a cam. And it was like, he was like, why you ain't bring it? I said, I would never just bring something in your space and be like, oh yeah. Look at it.
Expect
it. But in his brain, he was like, why wouldn't you bring it?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? But once that initial contact, it's like, oh, you know what? Let me stop playing and accept what's being thrown at me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's probably because I definitely used to like to do. I was very strong-willed before. Like I don't need no help with nothing. So that way, when where it's at, it was me.
Yeah, I feel like that's really big with time.
But it's also unrealistic.
Too. Yeah, that's what it was. Like I'm the photographer. I'm customer service. I'm doing a product. Like you literally, any successful person has a team.
And as your brand expands, like I said, it's nothing wrong with it in the beginning.
Right. You're going to have to.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with it in the beginning. I even tell people all the time, clients, I have artists I represent, and they be like, I don't want nobody knowing I work. The people who listen to you work. Like, you shouldn't be, in 2025, in 2025, you shouldn't be struggling anything. You should have your business, your main thing that pays your bills. So what? You can be an artist.
Right.
How you gonna be an artist? You can't think because you're getting kicked out.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So am I saying like go out and beg? Because asking for stuff is crazy. I'm trying to get over that.
Yeah.
But if someone's like, hey, I heard you say this, I could help you with that. Accept it.
Yeah.
Especially if they're good at what they do.
Especially if they're good at what they do.
Yes. I thought when you said like, would you say ask or accept help?
Yeah. Like, don't be afraid to accept help.
I thought you was more so referring to like mentorship, but the way you broke it down, but the way you broke it down, I like that too though. Like,
I think a mentor is one of the cheat codes to being a successful business owner. Like, if you don't have nobody that is ahead of you in whatever you're doing, that can lead you with good intentions. Not that you will fail, whatever God got for you, He's got for you. But having that mentor that could show you the ropes and little things, I feel like that's such a cheat code in owning a business.
I think a good mentor too. Mm-hmm. Like you got somebody that's been doing whatever you're doing, and they've been doing it for the past 10, 15 years. You get to learn everything that they learned in a fraction of the time.
Yeah, like they prodigy.
But see, I agree 1,000%. Because here's the thing, right? I think as human beings, we're very selfish and possessive over other human beings. So with that, right, a mentor can show up in any form in any short span of time, right? You could learn something from someone, even if it's not an ongoing thing, right? So sometimes when people come in our lives, like in the beginning, it's super fun, it's whatever, but you're learning something from that person. You're either learning what not to do or what to do. You feel what I'm saying? So sometimes, especially when it's time for people to part ways, it's just a bad, like, oh, this happened like this or this happened like that. But it's like, damn, no. But in those first 2 to 3 months, when that person taught you something that's vital to your business, that was mentoring. You guys probably mentored each other because you learn something from the way this person does business. This person learns something from the way you do business, even if it's simply the motivation. That's why I'm always like, make sure. My favorite question is like, what's more important, the trip or the destination?
The trip.
I asked you this before.
I was gonna say the trip too.
The trip?
Yeah.
Go on,
What
Mr.
was your
Silence,
question?
man.
What was
What's
your
more
question?
important, the trip or the destination?
I guess the trip. I don't like the destination. I hate how long it take.
Now, I'm going to give it to y'all as a trick question. For me, personally, it's the company you keep.
Do you think so?
It's the company.
Along the way,
There
or
you
once
go.
you get there.
No.
Along the way?
Yes. The company you keep is going to make or break your business. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I agree with you there. See,
It's not the
well,
trip. It's not the destination. It's the company. When was the last time you was going somewhere, you was riding, y'all in a car, y'all whopping, it's good, it's whatever. You pull up to the destination, you're like, man, we could have did this in a car. Or even if everything fall through, it's always the company. Because even a person that's with you, like, no, it ain't that shit. It's like, it's the company.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, sometimes too, other people go super hard. Like everybody got people in their family like, yo, they weird. I ain't learned nothing from them. You learned what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
You did business with someone, you learned what not to do. Because here's my thing sometimes too. You probably made a $500 mistake last month. You needed to. Because you'd have made a 5-band mistake
This month.
2 months from now. You see what I'm saying? So like certain people I had money fallouts with when I was younger, you wouldn't be nowhere near money today. That don't mean, and learn how to deal with people.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have to be everything to you.
Right.
Certain people are for certain things, and that's okay. But I think because we get so possessive over people, we want them to be what we want them to be.
Yeah. I feel like.
Or we have the potential and expectations is crazy. I don't
Yes.
believe in potential with people. Like the potential for yourself is great.
You either potential or you not. Like you gonna come potential or you like. I don't
You know what I'm saying? Or like for me, I can acknowledge like, damn, okay, I could see this being boom, 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 boom. But I'm not so invested in your potential that when it's selfish and I think like mentally like off a little bit when I need you to reach your goals when I want you to. They're not my goals.
Right.
So we become possessive over people for their time and what we want them to do or how we want them to move or respond. I can not like something and that could just be what it was. Like my favorite thing is like everything is as it should be.
Yeah. It's like a bad breakup. Like you focus on
The negative.
the negative that caused us to have this breakup, but we didn't focus on like the months that we had that were great. So I feel like if you don't learn to take the lesson out of you have to literally learn to see a lesson in every situation, no matter how big or small. If you don't learn the lesson in things, you're just gonna either keep learning the lesson or you gonna fail.
That's the thing that separates your mistakes. So I feel like a mistake should be made, and you learn from it. I also believe that I believe that spiritually, I believe that business, I believe that in like the universe, right? When you keep making the same mistake, I feel like the universe repeats the lesson for you.
Yes.
So if you keep dealing with the same kind of person, you got rid of that person, but they're gonna put another person in a brand new gift box
'Cause you
that makes it
didn't
look
learn.
shiny and
Same
new
mistake,
to see if you can identify
Right.
what's going on. When you ask, so it don't have to necessarily be spiritual if that's not people wave, but when you ask for something, when you ask for patience, you think the person you believe in gonna come down, sprinkle patience on you? No, they're gonna put you in a situation,
be in that situation.
to make you
Learn
learn
it.
patience. That's why I'm like, be careful what you ask for. Because if you like, oh, I want to learn how to control my anger, you think they're gonna be like, let me sprinkle some Salt Bay anger joint on you. No, they're gonna put 3 people in your life that's gonna piss you royally
You gonna
off.
be ready to fight
And be like, yo, I thought you wanted to learn, me. What made you slap them? Repeat it again. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the thing when you're like, I know for a fact when customers get, you know what? Talk to my liaison that handles my
And that's why
escalations.
everybody needs a team.
Because, and that's just knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And there's nothing wrong with a team. And even once you get another person, that's a team.
Yep.
And it's okay. And that's why some people need personal. You have a business assistant, you have a personal assistant. You don't have to do, first of all, I need everybody, any clients, everything, anyone I tell, America's a lie. Everything they switched was a lie. How it was built was a lie. So we don't invent things no more either. You don't have to do, if you say a textbook way, like, no, I got to do this, that, and the third. No, you don't. The best gift my mom gave me, she told me to question everything. So people who experience me be like, oh, that's arrogance, that's cockiness, because I have the audacity to question something. I'm like, why? No, I'm going to do it this way because this is going to happen. People used to invent stuff all the time when we were younger. Nobody invent nothing no more because everybody follow the mold. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Because then it's somebody coming up who probably came from your background, everything else, who needs your story. So do it the way you want to.
Yeah.
I Frank Sinatra everything. Do it the way you want to. Because when you go, is your first question, your first thing you're like, damn, I'm dead? Okay, cool.
I feel
your
like
second
that's how
joint gonna
I feel,
be,
though.
did I live my life for me though?
I feel like that's the main question you got to ask yourself. When it's all said and done, that's the main question you got to ask yourself. The way I live my motto or to my business, I don't want to be the next Fenty Skin. I don't want to be the next Rope. I want to be the first Corrective. Like I want to be a groundbreaking, innovative business. I don't want people to say, this brand did that, Fenty did that, Corrective did that, and then they just did it the best. I want to be able to say, or for my consumers to say, I shop with this brand because no other brand has this. No other brand.
You created your
does
own
this.
lane.
Exactly.
And the market is fully like, when people are like, oh, it's oversaturated. If you tell me like, oh, it's too many barbers, be a barber.
No,
You want to get
many.
into, products, get in products. Directing, getting a directing is no such thing. That's why they got a Burger King, a Wendy's, Wawa, and everything on the same corner, because
Every other
somebody is
corner.
going to want something different. It's probably something I want from your product. You know what I'm saying? Like in the beginning when you was like, oh, I did it this way. I knew my first year. First of all, you're considered delusional and crazy at first, but then once you make it happen, you're a genius.
Yes.
So you have to. First of all, I believe in 70-30, 70%. Realistic, 30% delusional.
Yeah.
I believe
agree.
that in business and personal.
Yeah.
We get married, we just met yesterday, not a problem. Cool. Like, because if you wouldn't have had that gumption to say, I'm going to do this my first year, your other self probably would have talked you out of it.
Yeah.
So delusion is sometimes a great
That
asset.
delusional decision you make could be that one decision that changes your whole life.
And every person who got called crazy, when they became successful, they got called the genius.
Yeah.
So do it.
I hopped on a plane at 2 a.m. I was sending a package to an influencer. It just kept it. When I say it would not get to him, he would be traveling the world. It would be getting stolen every other week. I literally texted me. I said, I just booked the flight. I'll be there 5 a.m. I went there. I gave him his package. Literally, it really shouldn't even been there. I literally gave this man a package. A month later, I was featured in Essence magazine. If I didn't go and get on that plane for that influencer that wasn't expecting it, that I just went the extra mile, my business wouldn't be in major magazines. I wouldn't have, huge people that use my brand because I made that crazy decision. And everybody at my house was like, are you about to get on a plane? I called out of work. I sent my kids to my sister's house. I did everything I need to do because in my mind, that 30% delusion I had, I knew this was gonna work out. Like, y'all don't see the vision.
Right. Now understand
but
this
I knew.
too. When something comes to you, right, and not to take it too far into spirituality, but I'm gonna make this very quick. When something comes to you, you know how, like, I feel like in every sector of religion, they tell you like, well, God is within you. So everyone's kind of like, what I'm saying, God is within you. Intuition is someone speaking to you. So when you get a notion in your head and you follow it, for me, I have a super huge thing about, especially if I have a list of what I'm supposed to do today, to knock it out, because I feel like you're sending signals to the universe like I'm ready.
Yes.
So you hopping on that plane, show the universe, you should never be acting like who you are today.
Right.
Who you are today, you should be acting like who you are from 5 years from now. So I make all my clients put out a perspective, like, what does 5 year you do? What does 5 year you dress like? What does 5 year you act like? What does 5 year you eat like? So you hopping on that plane is what you did. And here's the funny thing. Some people, once they're super huge, and it's going to be a great story for you, because you're going to be at the top and you're going to have to stop what you're doing. Mind you, they're going to be like, why would she do that? She's the owner. And you stopped what you're doing and you're going to remember, yo, I'm about to hop on this plane again. Somebody's like, why would you do that? Because I did it in the beginning. So that's who I am. So y'all run this, let your team run what they run. You gonna make sure I'm delivering this package to whoever it is. And you see how everything trickled after that?
Yeah.
So for me, I firmly believe in when you get up every day and you do what you're supposed to, you're telling the universe. So with my phone's going off, I correct myself every time I say, I'm like, man, these Jones is buzzing. And I quickly, but in my caveat, I be like, I ain't complaining though. Because in my line of work, my phone's gonna buzz. They gonna buzz. I talk to people, that's what I do.
Right.
So you're sending signals to the universe when you getting up, sticking to your routine and your schedule. The universe like, okay. That's why I say, do it scared, do it afraid, do it tired, do it sick, do it. Because then the universe gonna be like,
I like that.
Obviously,
so you ready
Yeah.
to be a millionaire then.
Mm-hmm.
And some people forget that when they get on top. It's a difference between a CEO and a boss. A CEO dictates, a CEO takes over a company, whatever, a boss gets their hands dirty. A boss take care of the people and get it done. It's a difference.
I agree with that.
So that was a boss move to get on the plane. Because where other people say it's not worth it, everything is not financial or monetary gain. It was just the point of like, oh, you make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only way I can make sure, I'm not sending my assistant. Because when somebody tell them no right here, you be like, no, I'm gonna spin around this. I need to get to this
Yeah.
person. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then everything happened, like you said, after that. So that's what I mean. It was a point for that. When something is telling you something, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
So what strategies have been most effective in growing your business?
Just like you said, get up, do it. I realize I'm going to be tired the rest of my life. It's just, I don't know what it is. I'm never going to have the energy that I used to have when I was younger. I literally just have to get up and do it. Like, if I don't just get up and actually start to do that process or whatever it is I need to do, it's not getting done. That's literally my only, like, I have no other strategy. There's no like cheat code. I have to just get up and do it. The stuff I don't want to do, the stuff that I even want to do, even the things that I don't want to do, I kind of try to make it like a little fun so that I can want to do it.
Hell yeah.
But that's literally my only strategy. I just have to get up and do it.
I definitely believe in romanticizing my life. Even if it's the little stuff.
Yes, every little thing, really. It's like, I don't want to do it, but I know I got to, because if I don't do it, then the domino effect, something else is going to fall.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I just get up and do it because I'm more scared of what's going to happen if I don't do it than if me being tired or me being, I want to lay in the bed. The bed going to be there when I'm done doing what I'm doing. So I just get up and do it.
Can you repeat the question for me?
What's your biggest strategy to grow your business? What's been most effective in growing your business?
I think the most effective strategy to grow my business is putting myself first. If I don't go to the gym, if I'm not drinking enough water, if I'm not, everything else, it just won't align.
I've been wanting to do that this whole time.
It won't align. So definitely putting myself first. And then,
Yes.
I know I mentioned it earlier. I think you said something too about the mentorship too. And one of the mentorship programs that I'm in, they mentioned the ship that you're on, and like all love to my old shop. But I feel like when you start to surround yourself around people that's like, and they could be younger than you, they might not have as much experience as you, but when you start to surround yourself around people that's already up here and you down here, it's like dang. And it's kind of like a growing pain too. But that's been my strategy, surrounding myself around people that are way better than me, that are a lot bigger than me in the industry, and just putting myself first, taking care of myself. That's really it.
All right, hit me again. You know my brain.
What strategy do you use or have used to have your business grow?
I don't play about my business. I can't play about my business. Some things out of love, we are human beings, right? Some things make you say, you know what, I'm gonna do this for this. And in some instances, don't get me wrong, it makes sense, right? To incorporate, I believe in incorporating personal and business when the support is there. For me, support is a verb. Is actionary. So if it's just like if someone's patronizing my business and on top of that, they family probably by the time you supported 3 times, by the time you hit me for the 4th time, I'm probably gonna give you something nice as a super discount because you are indeed supporting. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and taking my business very serious and also having conversation. When you said putting you first, when I tell you that's top notch, I think in America we're taught like selfishness is a bad thing. I don't subscribe to it.
Me either.
So the way I subscribe to delusional, and I do believe in being selfish because I also don't believe in pouring from your cup, right? I think that's even when they mention that biblically, right? They be like, oh, you pour from your cup. For me, it's interpreted differently. I feel like, so if your cup runneth over, everyone who is in your direct contact, you know them things that be at weddings when they're pouring the champagne and then it cascades down? You are that cup. That if that cup tips, won't every glass fall? Right. So you should never be tipping your cup to pour into others. What should be happening is you should be doing everything you're supposed to do, cosmically, universally, spiritually, whatever. So that way your cup is being over poured and everything else falls down how it should.
Oh, wow.
You should never be tipping your cup to pour into someone else. You are supposed to, I totally believe it's supposed to be you, your faith, and then everything else under that. Because, and then your faith is you. You know what I'm saying? So those things go hand in hand. How you going to pour if you don't have anything?
Right.
I just lost a cousin because she took care of everybody. So much so she forgot to take care of herself.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, your cup shouldn't be tipping ever. You should be overly abundant. So that way everything that's being poured from you is then going down to the people that's necessary and whatever else. You have to take care of you first.
Yeah.
Being selfish is not a problem. Like I'm having a selfish, actually 3 years. For me, when you're like, oh, I'm gonna always be tired. I'm glad you mentioned it. I agree with that a lot, right? So my plan is like, I'm going to put my head down for 10 years. These next 10 years is very personal, very selfish, and it's kind of no lie. It's a my way or the highway type of deal. Mm-hmm. So that means relationship-wise, I'm going to need you on board with what I got going, accepting what I have going on. You don't even have to be on board, but knowing what that look like, right?
Right.
So for 10 years, I'm putting my head down because a day on my birthday, after 10 years, I'm never going to have to physically work another day in my life. Because everything at that point should be passive. Your business should be running like a, you know what I'm saying, like a clock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that way you could just be backwards and just overseeing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what, you know what I mean? Just doing it that way. You shouldn't have to be physically running no more. And also, when you build a team, you should also be creating little super teams because you're going to end up turning into a mentor. I think it's all, the whole point of doing what you're doing, my idea of success is making sure, especially the ones I hold close in my heart, you shouldn't have to make these mistakes because I made them for you. Mm-hmm. Don't make them pitfalls right there. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest flex, I feel like, for success.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to make any mistakes I made, and I want to just have other things for family. Like, if you doing great in college and I know I'm the one that's successful, I'm the rich auntie, and you in college, you like, damn, we just at Thanksgiving. You like, damn, my last semester, man, they killing me. I've been working the whole time in school. I just want to thug this last joint out and enjoy being in college. And then the school call you like, yo, your tuition's paid.
Yeah. That's definitely a goal.
That's my thing in success is like, my prayer, one of them, is always putting me in a position to change other people's lives. In an organic way.
Yeah.
Put me in a position, my top 2 things is I wanted to be a gangster and I wanted to help change other people's lives.
You still want to be a gangster?
Oh, for sure. I'm a gangster now.
I love that for you.
I'm a gangster now because most people, especially in entertainment and things that where America lied, gangsters is shooting up. The image is gangsters is shooting and doing this and selling drugs. No, you know what's gangster? A gangster is a person that takes care of their entire family.
I was about to ask, what's the definition of a,
Right when you said that, I knew you was going with
A gangster makes sure everybody eat. It's people older than me, like, especially on my mom's side. Like, when my aunt's son act crazy, they sent him to my house. It's like, no, don't, because I move a certain way. But also that comes with responsibility. You have to carry yourself a certain way. And also like accepting your flaws too. Like I'm not perfect. Like people want me to speak. And I'm like, that's not really my judge, because I feel like people who speak come from a thing like, yeah, I'm perfect, I'm this, I'm that. And then like I'm starting to learn too. They're like, no, you are who you are, and that's why we want you to speak.
Right.
But it's like I'm gonna make sure if I can help you in something and I see the interest. You and I had a conversation about that, about talking. If I can see, I don't talk to many people like the conversation me and you have.
I appreciate you for that too. Yeah.
So, but if I see an interest, I'm gonna put you on to something. You know what I'm saying? For him, I tell people all the time, especially in our family, I don't know why he listens to me. I feel like in other people in other situations, they would gloat like, yeah, he listen to me, he don't listen to y'all. Every day I'm thankful for it. Every day I pray for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he could be doing a lot of stuff. And I love young, old people who young, but mentally old. You know what I'm saying? So for when someone has your ear, it also keeps you balanced, because now I can't just move any kind of way. When people want me, exactly. I can't just put myself in reckless situations, because too, let's just say when someone invite me somewhere and I'm like, it's unsavory. I'm sure he knows the same thing. If he goes somewhere unsavory and you don't make it home, now I'm coming to look for you. Now you changing the trajectory of our whole family, because we were supposed to do this thing and be successful. Right. Now it's going to crumble, because I'm going to come looking for you and understand why you ain't make it home.
Right.
And I'm going to come back with answers. So let's both respect one another and not even do that.
Yeah.
All right. This right here, I need one more question. I just want y'all to say one thing, literally one thing, if we're going to end it. What's one thing you would want to tell someone starting off their business? Just one thing, just name it.
On days where you feel like you are not going to make it, or you are not successful, or you're not going to be successful, do not let motivation lead you. You're going to have to put discipline at the forefront of a lot of things, because there's days where I'm not motivated to pack these orders. I'm not motivated to make this content, but I'm disciplined enough that I know that if I don't do this, then my business will decline. Or if I don't, cause and effect. I'm sorry. So let discipline lead you in prayer. Keep God before anything, but let discipline lead you, because if not, you ain't going to really be where you need to be.
Ass cuts.
So I actually got a quote that I try my best to live by. MYSMYW, which is magnify your strengths and manipulate your weaknesses. Along your journey, it's going to get tough. I think earlier I said it, growing pains, right? Didn't I say that? Growing pains. But that's all a part of your journey. Be thankful for every little thing that happened. Pay attention. And don't understand that, people going to doubt you. People going to talk about you. But it's not about them. It's about you. And make sure.
I would say study your craft. It's like study your craft. Master your craft. Put in your 10,000 hours. When you do that, you're confident when other people have questions about who you are. And that's a legitimate thing, and it's okay. Again, don't take it personally, because if someone's asking you, why should they stand behind you? You put in your 10,000 hours. You know who you are. When you know who you are, you're confident. When you feel confident, you move confidently. Everything else trickles from there. If you doubt you, other people will too. You know what I'm saying? So, putting in 10,000 hours, believe in who you are. And there was something you said about manipulating your weaknesses or whatever. I feel like whatever you not too sure of, or anything that you have, for me, that's how I move through life. Whatever I'm not good at, I'm gonna figure out, I'm gonna either outsource or make it stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know everything, but I do know the stuff that I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people are like, oh, Tay, you know everything. No, I know what's in my circumference, and I make sure I do. So just put in your 10,000 hours, because then can't nobody tell you nothing about you, because you put in your work for you. You can't, it's no cheat code. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no cheat code at all. Put in the work, Do what you got to do. So then you're confident, because also as you grow, you have to learn to stop shorting yourself and pay yourself. Put some respect on what you do. You get caught up in running your business, you forget to pay yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, for sure.
Got it. One more. Oh, I know you said one. I would say like have faith. Like, I don't care if you're Jewish, Muslim, Christian, but have faith. Even if it's not believing in God, believe in yourself. That's it. Just have faith.
That part.
All right, man. That was episode 7 of Feed the Streets podcast.
And I ain't played not once. Because you know I be up here busy, baby.